Welcome back. We're here. It's 2021. It's a new year. We're feeling good. We're feeling fresh.
We're feeling ready to go, ready to bring you the news, ready to wash away the 2020 energy.
For real. Although I feel like I hate to be the Debbie Downer
it's
already,
exactly
but
the same thing.
And I feel like it will be the same for at least 6 months.
No.
Right?
It's not 6 months.
Why do you argue not 6 months?
Because I plan on getting injected with a vaccine.
So do I, but I don't think that
and
the
then I'm
regulations...
gonna go fucking nuts.
But don't you think the regulations will still be there? Like, we're
Probably.
still not gonna be able to go to restaurants and shit.
But I think they'll open them up before then. I'll move. I don't give a fuck.
Honestly, I feel like this should be the way that it is because there's gonna be so many people that are resistant to getting the vaccine, and I'm like, fine. If you guys want to risk your lives...
Honestly, no, that at that point, it's on you. I feel like we can all just agree at a certain point, like, if you just didn't get the shot, then, like,
you didn't get the shot.
You didn't get the shot. You don't get to, like, complain anymore. Wear your mask, I guess.
Or don't. You know, like, it's whatever. But, like, I'm not going to be worried about other people when I have the shot. Sorry, other people.
I know. We've tried.
I've done my worrying about other people for this year, I think.
Have. I'm at capacity. Oh, for this year already?
Yeah.
We're already, like, zoomed. Yeah, 5 days in. I'm like, capacity, can't.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, we're going to be bringing you guys a really hot story today. Actually, Laura is. We are cutting it down. We decided in 2021 that we...
do less.
Do less in 2021. Inspired by the Do Less podcast, which you can catch me on probably by the time this comes out, actually.
She'll be doing not a ton on it.
They were like, listen, our podcast is about doing the bare minimum, so we think you'd be a great guest for it. And I was like, thank you. Like,
I love this.
Yeah. Also... fair.
Yeah, but in the spirit of doing less, we decided that 2 stories is too much.
So we're going to alternate. So today's episode is a Laura-centric episode. But first, I want to just reflect a little bit on 2020.
I love 2020.
And, obviously there are some businesses that shuttered, some businesses that suffered, and there are also businesses that boomed, as there are with, any economic shit show. And one of those businesses, of course, was our friend Zoom.
Zoom.
Gotta love Zoom.
Zoom is like halfway to 200. I don't know what I'm trying to do, like some sort of like number thing with it. I feel like they maybe sponsored the pandemic. I don't know.
Yeah, right.
Is that libel? Like, I don't know.
That would be smart.
That would have been like some like crafty guy who's like, I'm gonna get my investment back.
Quite a plot.
This is a QAnon podcast now.
I'm feeling
wacky.
I'm for it. Yeah, let's have Leonardo on next week. I love you, Leonardo, but you're a little crazy. You know that.
Yeah, she's awesome.
She's awesome, but she's wild.
Love that. My favorite kind of person. Okay.
Yeah. So
what's up with Zoom? They're crushing.
They're crushing. I thought it'd be really fun to go over the most embarrassing Zoom like meetings from the past year.
Fuck yeah. Did you have any before we go over the most embarrassing? Like ours probably won't rank, but any notable ones on your side?
You know what? I'm pretty good with Zoom. Like.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Are you pretty good at Zoom?
I'm below the age of fucking 45.
That's
so yeah.
True.
But
it's a weird thing to like.
Yeah.
Humble brag.
I'm definitely aware of what's going on around me. I would say like when we were in our old apartment and like most people, they have to compete with conference calls with like them and their husband at their corporate jobs. And with me, I'd be like on the phone with a client, and in the background, Mark would be on a podcast like queef, jizz, anal, hey, and I was like, oh, I'm so sorry, my boyfriend's yelling queef in the background.
No, it's for work.
Yeah, it's for work. It's how we pay the rent, actually.
This isn't how we do what he's doing. That's the work.
My thing is the hobby in this household, actually. So that was really embarrassing. What about you?
I've had similar ones where Matt recently had to do an audition where he says the N-word a couple times. I'm dead serious.
What's it for?
He didn't get the part thing.
Oh my God.
Christ. I'm not sure if I can even say what like the whole thing was, but I know.
Oh my God.
I know. But anyway, I was just like,
That's crazy.
Wow.
Wow.
I know. I was like, are you supposed to actually say it? And like there was like the whole like he was like,
well, he's an actor. Like
they wrote it, so like that'd be really fucked up if they didn't want me, but like, do they want me? Or like,
it's like a period piece. He's supposed to be like a slave owner, and he says N word. They're like, no, sir, can you like?
You're not gonna get the part.
He's like, I'm sorry,
listen,
that's
he
not
needs
my
the part right now. We're bored.
You know what though? That's a good thing. I think that shows that he's a very unconvincing white supremacist. How about that?
I'm very glad he didn't get the part, but also kind of upset he auditioned for the part and then didn't get it, and now that tape exists somewhere.
I was thinking the same thing. Like, hopefully, like nobody gets their hands on it. That could like splice it.
I know, yeah, deep fake him or something, or real fake him. It's real.
yeah, it's his real voice. Yikes!
So that's that. Thankfully, that wasn't like during a Zoom meeting. He's done a lot of like the same kind of shit though, auditioning and stuff like that. Mostly passwords. My little Zoom bomber. He jumps up in the background, and I'm just like. Oh my god, little cat is on the couch and I'm just bopping around, and like I have a pretty serious job, so I'm just like, internal threats and bad actors and that's Password, my cat.
Greg has also bombed me, but you know what really irritates me, and it shouldn't, but
what?
I get really personal, as though he came out of my own vagina. I get so fucking pissed when I'm like, oh, it's my cat, he's really cute, right? And they're just like, yeah, I'm a dog person, and I'm like,
okay,
fuck you.
No, people what is wrong with you? Just say
just
cute.
Be like,
just
oh,
say it's
adorable, cute. And move on with your life.
Why do you feel like I'm a dog person? I'm like, well, I'm a nice person.
Yeah, how about that? You ass.
You're a dick.
Fuck them. Wait, so I found this article that went around actually a few different countries and shared the most embarrassing Zoom meetings from some of like
there's
prominent
been some
people.
Good ones too.
Oh, yeah.
I remember just a couple. Oh, yeah, go on.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna know a few of these from the news.
So, obviously, first and foremost, we would be remiss if we talked about this topic and not Jeffrey Toobin, who got caught masturbating in between a conference call with the New Yorker. He worked at the New Yorker, and he had worked there for many years, I think 20 years or something like that. And then
I've basically been internally laughing like since this story came out. Like, what the hell is going on? How? First of all, good for him for being old and getting it out.
True.
That's I think right there. Like that earns a little bit. Like
that is nice. But
good
like,
for you, Jeffrey Toobin.
People were really defending him, which is fine. People have needs, I guess. But like, they were defending him. They're like, well, I didn't know that his camera was off and blah, blah, blah. But I was like, but it was a 15-minute break in between like a meeting, 15-minute break, and then another meeting. I'm like,
and you didn't leave the room? Yeah,
like, it's like, okay, you... Like, within that 15-minute break, you're not like, I'm going to go make myself a coffee. You're like, I'm going to pull up porn, get hard, stay hard, and jerk off to completion.
Once again, Jeffrey Toobin knows his body well. Like, I mean, sex icon.
To be fair, like, I can masturbate, and I'm not even exaggerating, 1 minute.
That's incredible.
Yeah,
you understand how rare that is?
I
have for May, everybody.
I have a great vibrator, though, honestly, so like it's not really.
We're gonna need a don't say that because that's a good sponsor. Yeah, that's like you gotta pay to know what.
Mark will like go out for milk and like come back, and he's like, "What have you been doing?" I'm like, "Oh, I got off like 3 times." He's like, "What?" I left for 2 seconds. Anyway,
that's incredible, and I will need to get that brand from you because that's not the case for most women.
So
it takes a while. It takes like the moon to be in alignment. It takes like stars, the tides come in and out.
Astrologically, you have to be all set.
Yeah, the gods need to be looking at me. Like I don't know.
They need to be having sex with you. Actually.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
that's
they need
goal.
to enter Matt's body.
I'm
going
to be the Mother Mary.
Oh God.
Okay, keep going.
Okay. So there were a few around the world, though, that I thought were really funny, and I actually hadn't heard of, probably because I apparently am an American pig and only listen to American news.
American idiot. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So in Spain, in July, a part-time town councilor, which I don't know what the fuck that is. Counseling
okay, Spain. That's like sounds like a fun camp.
Yeah,
they have town counselors.
Yeah, like what are you talking? You mean like a mayor?
The guy who takes you out for your activities.
We don't want to tell you what to do. We're just like counseling you on what you might do.
We have arts and crafts next. Come on.
Anyway, this guy Bernardo Bustillo,
great name.
or Bustillo, which is really funny, accidentally showed himself showering during a live streamed council meeting. How?
What? That'd be hard.
That'd be hard.
That would literally be difficult.
I mean, you'd have to bring the computer in the bathroom.
Or your phone, or like, what?
Yeah, or you have a really small apartment, which I've been there, and your shower is like over your fucking bed.
It's a shower bed combo. Yeah, you sleep, the mattress just falls down. It's on the ground.
Yeah. Who knows? That's such a
That's
weird one.
honestly, I'm impressed a little bit.
I mean, it's really, really cool.
Are there videos embedded? Oh my god, can you watch the...
I fucking hope so.
That's fantastic.
So then, let's see. Sorry, I'm a little unorganized here. This guy was kind of boring. He just was pantsless in some CNN meeting. Who cares?
It's like the beach. Come on.
This is a great one. So in the Philippines in August, a village chief, again, these words.
Village chief. In the Philippines.
Yeah. Okay, sure. Okay. From 𝐂𝐍𝐶𝐄𝐃, I don't know if I'm saying that right, Philippines, was caught having sex with his treasurer during a Zoom call with other officials.
What?
Wow.
With his treasurer? So I'm assuming that was not his or his husband or wife. Do we know that?
I guess not. I mean, perhaps neither of them were married. I'm gonna say they probably were both. Just for my own
kicks.
Yeah, let's just say they were both married.
They were both married. their husband and wife. They were also sleeping with one another. This was like a torrid affair. I'm just gonna make up some.
Yeah, that's fun. I like that. Torrid affair.
Yeah, torrid affair. They got they caught each other. They caught the husband and wife cheating, and then this was them getting back at them. And they were like, "What if we did it on the call?
What if we got fired and had to resign in disgrace?
What if?" We'll just really get them.
Isn't that crazy? And
that's crazy.
I mean, if I was
there's a green light when it's recording.
And also, I would be so paranoid. Move your computer to a different room, at least.
Yeah, or close it,
or fucking just hold your horses, okay?
Yeah.
So those were the best ones.
I hope they came.
Yeah, I hope they came too, but they probably didn't because
they probably didn't.
Don't ever.
Yeah, that's true. Except for Jeffrey Toobin.
Yeah. Okay, this is a really good one. So this is the last one I'll tell you because the other one's kind of boring. So in the U.S., a University of Miami lecturer resigned in April after he revealed a bookmark while he was sharing his screen during a Zoom video call. And the bookmark said "Busty college girl FU," which I think is fun or something like that. ... They couldn't see what the rest of it said. Yeah. Oh, fucks. Duh. I go fun. I'm like, that's what guys.
Fun with kids.
Yeah, I'm that's what guys Google fucks. Is fun. Fun and happy and PG.
Busty college girl, fully clothed, and doing volunteer work.
That's what I would say if I were him. I'd be like,
"It's what are you talking about?" I was looking at volunteer tips.
Exactly. Hello, I was trying to support this philanthropic woman.
Yeah, busty. I don't know why they described her like that. College girl. I'm a university professor. Right. What's up?
Yeah, exactly. That's fucking hilarious. But anyway, a bunch of his students took notice and they posted a video of it.
That's perfect.
I know.
I would lose my shit.
Yeah. It'd be so funny.
I'm jealous of those students right now of how much they were roasting this dude.
Oh, yeah. It'd be so fucking fun. And they posted a video of it on TikTok, which got 800,000 views in a matter of hours.
Oh, damn.
Oy vey. So anyway, he left the university after the student newspaper reported on the incident.
Student newspaper.
Yeah,
I wish we had the name. Those are always the most the Charleston Gazette.
Yeah, exactly. How funny though. I mean, damn.
That's some investigative reporting. They were like,
yeah,
he looks at porn.
Right.
Of college girls. Also, actually, kind of probably not great that it was college
a college
girl.
Professor. Yeah, I mean,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's not.
But I feel like if
it's not illegal, but it's not awesome.
It's just weird.
On the job, you know?
Yeah. And I'm sure this guy was 60, and these girls think about in college, we think of them as college girls, and that's fine, they're legal, but I'm like, nah, they're not. They're 18 and 19.
It's definitely it's right on the edge.
Yeah. There's something wrong with you if you're an older guy and you're into college girls.
And the other thing is if you're identifying them as college girls, it's usually not a 23-year-old getting her master's.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? It's usually the freshman who just had her first drink. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's not the 50-year-old who's getting an MBA, an executive MBA.
I've never drank before. What's in this? I'll take the fruity cocktail.
Yeah. Oh my god. What is this? Just punch?
Yeah. That's what they want.
It's punch.
Oh my. Anyway, stay safe on Zoom is all I can say.
Yeah.
And can we all agree to put the fucking Zoom happy hours in the past? I hated
We're done.
those. We're done. I've had it. It's enough.
I don't need to be weirdly drunk in front of my computer.
No.
Ever
neither.
again.
No, I would rather be drunk in front of my TV and texting the people that I care about talking to.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
They're done and done. But if I have another birthday during another quarantine, everyone better be at my fucking happy hour. Just saying. To my friends.
I'll be there very begrudgingly.
Perfect. I'm like, bang, do a shot.
Oh, God.
Okay. Well, on that note, that's like the correct vibe to go into this story because this one has it all. I'm going to be telling the story today about our favorite Abercrombie and Fitch.
Hell yeah.
I know. You probably haven't thought about them in a minute because who does anymore? But Abercrombie was like their whole, they were a whole vibe. Back in the early 2000s.
They were what you would call a lifestyle.
That is in fact what they would like you to consider them. Their entire motto actually was relevance, lifestyle, and authenticity.
Okay.
Also, I really feel like Abercrombie is single-handedly responsible for like 50% of women's eating issues.
Oh yeah, mine for sure.
For sure. No, yeah, I was thinking about it and I was like, I'm actually pretty, like I could definitely, like, you're standing in there, you're looking at that girl in like a bikini top for no reason at the front of the store and you're just like, okay.
Do you remember they used to take their mirrors and they would tilt them so you looked skinnier and taller in them and then you'd get home with your, tube top and be like, what the fuck?
I know. Wait, that's actually, I'm just going to tilt all my mirrors.
I know, yeah.
That's the dream right there.
That is the dream.
Yeah, they were also, so they were like an insanely successful, obviously women's fashion, or not even just women's, men's as well.
Yeah. Fashion
Company, but like teen, college age kids from the early 2000s. They're actually, though, they're one of the oldest companies. They were founded in like, what was the date?
The 1800s,
1892.
Right? Yeah. Damn.
1892. They were an elite hunting and sporting goods store. Teddy Roosevelt was actually outfitted by them for his safari.
Wow.
Which is, like, that's pretty... safari, I hope he probably shot things, so that's kind of a bummer. But, like, well, it was the 1800s. So back then they were like, whatever, they're going to kill us.
Exactly, who cares? At least it wasn't, I think Hugo Boss outfitted the Nazis.
Ah.
Yeah, so they were stylish.
There you go.
Listen. Credit where credit's due.
Yeah, we know the outfits. They were memorable. They had a brand.
Listen, they definitely have a brand. We'll give them that.
Okay. So they were bankrupt in 1970 because it turns out like safari outfits like kind of went out of vogue for a while. They got shuffled around for a while until L Brands, who we know they do like the limited, like they have a bunch of different fashion brands underneath them, bought them in the late 80s and put Mike Jeffries in charge in the mid 90s. So I want to back up for a second. Abercrombie and Fitch, like you remember, so Mike Jeffries was really good at this. He was basically in charge of all of the stuff that we remember about Abercrombie and Fitch. So first of all, there's 3 different companies that were underneath, or stores types. Hollister was like sexy teen on the beach.
Wait a minute, they were owned by the same people?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I know, right? Because they were like weirdly competing,
but
they weren't. They were like, are you like a beach kid, or are you like a suburbs like camp in the woods kid?
Yeah.
Which was Abercrombie and Fitch. And then there was Abercrombie Kids, where it was like, we feel uncomfortable selling really small things in this sex store. Like, maybe the 6-year-olds like just don't need to be in here.
We're gonna make them even sexier for the 6-year-olds.
Exactly.
Like JonBenet Ramsey types. Let's get the fuck in here and let's parade around. It's sexy as hell.
That was very JonBenet Ramsey vibes. Was Abercrombie Kids. Cool.
Yeah.
But they were crazy popular. Like, they had their catalogs, which were essentially, as they were described, bisexual soft porn, more that than a retail catalog, which they sold for $6, and they would sell out.
Oh my God.
Back in like basically it was like all these models would be frolicking around like without like pants on the beach, and then you'd be like taking off their bikini tops and climbing into the helicopters. Which it was a vibe. It was.
So they were peddling child porn.
Essentially, to us.
And I was eating it up. I was like, I want to have sex with some guy in a private jet.
Exactly. I'm trying to get my fucking mother to go into the store with a 16-year-old with no shirt on in the front. Yeah. She's just like, this isn't okay.
Oh my God.
My mom was from Germany, and she was like, you Americans, like, I cannot with any of this.
Way too over-sexualized. I was a Hollister or Aero Pastel girl because my mom was like, listen,
Yeah.
These
Absolutely.
clothes are way too expensive. They're cheap as shit and gross. Like,
absolutely. I was a American Eagle and Airbus style as well.
I like
American Eagle was
too.
like, are you Christian?
So true.
Not necessarily, but that was more.
No, the Gap was "Are you Christian?"
Yes,
my mom was
that's
always
true,
forcing
actually.
the fucking Gap down my throat.
Don't you love the Gap?
Yeah.
Oh, it's Christmas. Look what Santa got you once again.
Yeah, exactly. This fucking horrible blouse from the Gap. Ugh. Or Banana Republic. God. Anyway.
Banana Republic, which is like where I go now. Like, what's going
Yeah,
on?
yeah. Now I love it.
Anyway, so point being, they were crushing the early 2000s, and if you might be gathering from all this, a little problematic with some of this stuff. This was all basically coming from this guy, Mike Jeffries, who was their CEO. He was originally from Oklahoma, which I love because he's like this like Midwestern boy he's gay, which is awesome. He could have been an icon, but he really fucked that one up.
Chose not to.
He was like, nah, I'm not going to be progressive.
I'm going to be evil
I'm gonna be
instead.
bad.
Yeah.
He moved to LA where he started working at L Brands, and he had a ton of Botox. Like, if you look, you've probably seen pictures of him. I wouldn't normally make fun of someone for their, Botox or work because I love Botox. Like, famously,
Same.
I'm obsessed. But he's really gone overboard.
A little overdid it.
He looks like a cat.
Okay.
Looks like a cat.
Okay.
Anyway, so he went there. He did very well. He built their headquarters, which is this very strange campus in, where is it? New Albany, Ohio. And it's kind of similar. We have more of these now. They're like tech campuses. But back then it was like there weren't that many of them yet. And it's kind of like this whole like Boy Scout meets American Pie camp vibe. But like they all had to like, it was their headquarters. So it was like this weird, it was $115 million. There was a barn for the cafeteria.
Wow, $115 million.
Yeah,
shit.
to build this camp. And in Ohio, which is like $1 billion in New York.
Yeah.
It's like, that's the equivalent.
Yeah. To build this cult, basically. To be like,
yeah. There was a couple articles where they're like, is this a cult? And they were like, yes. Hard stop.
Did the employees have to wear 100% Abercrombie?
They did, absolutely. They were strongly encouraged, which means absolutely. Yeah. They were also not allowed to wear like formal, like you were in an office, but you're not wearing office wear. You're wearing like fucking ripped jeans and like weird tank tops and like flip flops. Mike didn't like email. There were no memos or notes. Like everything was supposed to be in person.
Oh my God.
Which is an insane,
so inefficient.
But either way, so he had all this way of doing this. He built this Abercrombie & Fitch campus. Okay. He charged $6 for porn, maybe. Yeah. I don't know what we're going to call that. Anyway, and everything, it's sold out. So he had clearly created a vibe. Here's a couple quotes from people who were working mostly at the retail stores while Jeffrey was in his prime. One of the quotes, men had to wear their jeans one waist size bigger so you could see their underwear line and the logo.
At work?
At work. Our shirts also had to be one size smaller so it was tight in the chest arms so you could see our muscles. Oh, and we had to wear our belts extra long to hang in front like a penis.
Huh? What?
That's the Abercrombie lifestyle, baby!
Oh my God. Imagine like heading off to work, like I'm gonna be the CFO of this company. Let me make sure my belt looks like a floppy dick.
I do think this was more for the retail employees, but but still, like everyone had to. That was another thing is that they were like, you have to wear Abercrombie. Like we're gonna hire a shit ton of kids and. There's some guaranteed profit for us.
Right.
Spend their whole paycheck on it.
Yeah, so true. But it also did kind of work because there was always like super hot people working there.
Absolutely.
And I'd be like, where do you get that top? I want to buy it.
Absolutely. I mean, that was, it's problematic, but like it's a strategy. It's kind of like the influencer marketing, but like at mini scale, like literally in-person influencer marketing.
Yeah. I mean, they still do it. Like Aritzia does that, I think.
I love Aritzia.
I love Aritzia. It's the best.
Okay, so we could never wear sale items on the floor, and most of my income was constantly spent on buying new clothes. So that's kind of like, it's problematic.
Yeah, it sucks.
Our store literally had perfume misters built into the ceilings that were set to go off on a timer. Every time I had to fold clothes near them, I'll walk away feeling nauseous and dizzy.
I believe
that's like you would turn a corner in the mall, and it would be like you'd like get away from like the Auntie Anne's pretzels or whatever, and you'd just get hit with the Abercrombie scent, just like smacked you in the face. It was so
It was so strong. It was fucking amazing. I did like smelling it on boys and stuff, but it was definitely, it was incredibly strong.
And they still do that.
No way.
Yeah,
really?
they definitely do, because I've went recently. This is what inspired the story. I'll get there. Anyway, so point being, and then there was also a lot of weird racial shit, which it was like, they didn't want anyone to wear their hair in like afro or like anything other than like traditionally, Caucasian hairstyles.
So
I know.
Outwardly
but
racist, basically.
Super, yeah, absolutely. They had pictures of what was acceptable to wear. They had to wear flip-flops. I don't know. It was just very strange.
I remember that. It's like the dead of winter and they'd be having their flip-flops.
Yeah. It was bizarre. But either way, in the early 2000s. Oh, and then lastly, this is to your point, managers had to give the people they scouted, like models, like what? You're selling clothes.
And spending all the money on the clothes.
On the clothes right away. It's actually brilliant. A password to be able to access the online application so that only people who were personally invited, good looking, could apply for a job.
Oh my God.
I know. So literally they were just like trying to like get this little, it was like influencer marketing before we had fucking social media. This was in the early 2000s.
Wow.
Well, it worked really well. They crushed. They made a lot of money. And Mike Jeffries kept like, the investors loved him. They really thought he was doing a great job. You don't say. He's crushing it at work. His employer loves him, but they were getting sued like crazy because of his behavior. So we've already alluded to some of this stuff. In 2004, they were like, they got sued for giving positions to white applicants to the exclusion of minorities.
Oh boy.
That's the whole like natural hair and stuff like that. So racism.
Okay. we got one ism.
We got that. Yeah, we got one of the isms noted. 2005, there was a boycott against these shirts that they decided to release, which said, "Who needs brains when you have these?"
Oh God. Okay.
Which is kind of funny, but also just like, come on.
I think I had that shirt. I was pretty well endowed early on.
Oh God, good for you. Meanwhile, I was just like, what do I have?
What am I supposed to have?
I wear it ironically.
Yeah.
That would be very funny, actually.
That would be good.
But anyway, that's probably sexism. So that's ism number 2.
Okay.
In 2009, British student Ryan Dean, he sued them because he was born without a left forearm, and they like wouldn't let him work on the floor. They instead made him go to the stock room because they didn't want that appearance, whatever. So he won a bunch of, not a bunch, $12,000 in an employment tribunal. But that's
it.
ableism. Yes, I would imagine this was still a minimum wage job that he was.
Yeah.
And he was like 15 or something ridiculous.
I remember. Oh yeah, that's true. It's probably sick money for him.
He's like, oh my God, so many gushers.
I do remember that. Like I remember, like some friend of mine who like wasn't that cute was like, I work at Abercrombie, and everybody would be like, you do, and they're like in the back, and I was like, everyone's like, and I'm like thinking back, I'm like, that's so awful. That's so awful.
Sweetie? Do
You're
you
really?
Like,
so bad.
And then in 2012, they fired a 55-year-old male pilot because he didn't fit their flight attendant guidebook, which is basically he was too old for it. So it's ageism. So that's a bingo card for cancel culture. But I do want to dig in a little. Yeah, you win. Bingo.
He's a pilot.
So I want to dig
What do you
more
want, a fucking 20-year-old pilot? They don't have enough hours under their belt.
It's not safe. It's just straight up not safe.
Listen, someone's going to get hurt. Okay.
But I do want to dig in a little bit more on the flying because Mike was weirdly obsessed with flying on the company jet. Granted, so would I. I would also probably
me too. I'd be like, this is fantastic.
Yeah. But either way, in 2010, the board agreed to pay him $4 million cash. I don't know if it was cash, but I like to assume it was in suitcases to limit his personal use of the company jet to $200,000 per year. They were like, here's literally just go first class, buy your own jet. Like, we don't give a shit. Please stop taking the jet. And part of the reason they were so...
Damn, he was going that often.
He was crazy. And part of the reason they cared so much is because he was like being really fucking weird on the plane. The flight crew uniform...
Doesn't sound like him.
I know.
That's so weird. It's so weird.
The flight crew uniform was like strangely sexualized. Remember, this is the plane. Like, who the fuck is on this? But all the guys had to wear Abercrombie jeans, polo shirts, like the whole getup, and a spritz of the retailer's cologne. Like, it was very strict. Flip-flops, of course. He loves flip-flops. And they were allowed to wear a coat only when it was 50 degrees or below. And then the men could only wear watches and their wedding rings. So basically he wanted his like flight crew to all like look like little like sex symbols. And this 55-year-old guy was like not fitting the image for them. So
he was like a regular pilot man
was like,
that wanted to dress like an adult.
Southwest.
Yeah,
I just got this job.
I'm in my pilot's uniform because I am a pilot.
Yeah, like, what's up?
Wow.
And then, as I mentioned, what's even weirder is that Mike Jeffries was openly gay, but like was weirdly kind of making the official uniform for like homophobic frat boys.
Yeah, he truly was.
Like he was like outfitting the enemy. Like, what's up? I don't know. But he had his life partner who was very actively involved in the company, even though he was not employed there.
Weird.
Which is weird. It's weird.
Was he qualified or just like not at all qualified?
I don't know. Give him a fake title. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, just that's what people do nowadays. But
contributor to social
sure.
life.
Yeah, to lifestyle manager. I don't know.
Yeah, lifestyle manager.
Exactly. Matthew Smith was his name, and I couldn't find a single picture of him.
That's so weird.
Which is, I'm pretty good at finding pictures.
Yeah.
Like,
and even though it's a common name, you could type in like Michael Smith Abercrombie.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, there were articles alluding to him, but there were no images of him, and that really freaks me out.
Yeah.
Freaks me out.
Maybe he's just made up this whole time.
Yeah, exactly. But point being, so stock prices kept going up through all this until 2011, which is basically when people were like, hey, that's not so cool anymore. Wait.
Oh, that's really weird how he just,
that's creepy.
Yeah, how he...
Wait, this is weird.
What a terrible person,
Yeah, and so basically what had happened is Jeffries did this interview for a Salon, which I don't even know if that's like a magazine anymore.
I don't know. Yeah, it feels like a throwback to me.
It does.
I remember
it
seeing
feels very
Salon
vintage.
around. I don't remember that. I haven't seen that in recent years.
So he did an interview in 2006, and it kept coming out for a while. Like this interview kept coming back into the news, but it wasn't really in 2000 until 2011 when people started to really care about it. Mm-hmm. One of the most damning quote from it is, "That's why we hire good-looking people in our stores, because good-looking people attract other good-looking people, and we want to market to cool, good-looking people. We don't market to anyone other than that." This was all alluding to the fact that he, during a conversation about why they don't carry plus sizes. They didn't carry over a size 10.
That's small, especially for Abercrombie sizes.
I know. That was the other thing, is that every Abercrombie size, like a 0 would have been the equivalent of like a 000 kids. Yeah. Tiny in Gap.
I don't know if I would fit into an Abercrombie size 10 now, and I'm a very average sized woman. I'm not
very much right through the middle.
I would not call myself large by any standards.
So I will challenge you on that, but definitely get your point about we are normal humans with asses. Legs. Certainly, even when I was a kid, I was like not fitting in any of the Abercrombie stuff at that point.
Yeah, their stuff was too small.
It was too
and really
small.
low. I was like, this is barely covering my vagina.
Yeah, truly. Let alone hair. I don't have hair yet.
Yeah, and you'd have like the whale tails when you'd sit down at the back.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay, so he was not fired through any of these PR disasters, even when the stock price started to go down. And the reason was he had I want to find out who this lawyer was, because the most epic employment contract ever. Literally, who made this because you're hired. No price is too high. The company's revenue was about $127 million per year. Okay. Good chunk of change, I think. I have no basis for this. I have no idea.
I don't know. I feel like that's kind of low for like...
Couldn't tell you. It's probably like after they cut everything out. I have no idea. Right. But there was a clause in Jeffries' contract that if the company changed hands and he lost his job, he was to be awarded $105 million, which is most of that.
That's most of that, number one. Number two, first of all, that is a sick fucking contract.
That is a sick contract. It's sick. And obviously so problematic for the company. They're just like, we can't fire you.
Yeah, we can't fire you. But I genuinely don't understand how someone gets this much power. You know what I mean? How do you get to be I am this valuable? People would be you're just one fucking guy. It's so weird to me.
It's the cult.
Yeah.
That's the biggest
that's truly
indicator of it being a cult.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, they were selling clothes, but
yeah.
Either way, finally in 2013, the contract finally expired, and they were like, "Oh yeah, you're fucking fired.
Out of here. Yeah.
Goodbye." And then Abercrombie went through this very strange period where they were there was like 3 years from 2014 to 2017 where they didn't have any CEO. They just like had a club of executives. They had like 3 or 4 different like people who just made calls, which just never seems to work. You want it, you wish it would, but it doesn't.
On paper, it feels like it would, because you're like, you get a bunch of diverse opinions, blah, 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 but then it just kind of like...
No one makes real decisions. They don't want to be the one who fucked it up.
Exactly.
You know, like...
I wouldn't want to be.
I get it. I think. I don't know. I wish I was in that kind of a position.
Yeah. I'm nowhere close.
Yeah, and then in 2016, Abercrombie & Fitch received the lowest score of any retailer on the annual American Consumer Satisfaction Index survey.
Oh, fuck.
Earning it the moniker America's Most Hated Retailer.
It did go through, like...
It went through it.
I remember those years, like, it was a joke. Like, who would ever shop?
It was just like Eastern European men.
Yeah.
That was like it. Exactly. You would see them walking the streets and be like, why is he wearing full Abercrombie logo?
That was, they had their logo on like absolutely everything too, which is like really
which was a big part of it back then, was like the brand. And
you wanted people to know you were wearing Abercrombie, which is so hilarious. What a dumb...
I know. I mean, I say it's, yeah. But we were like so into it, and I was like, I can't wear the Hollister little like.
Yeah, me too. I'd be like, oh my god, this is so embarrassing. And I remember like some girl in high school was like, you like Hollister? And I was like, I don't fucking like it. My mom just like gets me Hollister. And I was like, that's what a fucking brat I was. What an asshole. You're lucky your mom's buying you clothes, you bitch. That's what
I know. Seriously.
That's what I want to say to my younger self.
Also, Hollister was also not cheap. Like, it was cheaper. But
it was certainly not cheap.
It was.
I was such a little bitch.
I know. No, same.
We all were.
We really were.
Sometimes I get flashbacks to like how I used to behave, and it was just like I'm getting flashbacks from like 11-year-old May, but I'm like, God, I would have fucking hated my guts if I was my mom. I'd be like, I love you, but I don't like you at all.
No, absolutely. It makes me just not want to have kids.
I know. There's been like huge chunks where you're like, I really don't think I like you as a person. I love you,
but you are a bad person. You're a bad person.
Yeah. Anyway, I hope to think I've evolved, but who knows?
Yeah, I know. I'll probably look back at this and be like...
Exactly. I've evolved into a different type of bad person. How about that? Okay.
Hey, growth of some sort, at least. So then finally enter Fran Horowitz. And I am obsessed with Fran. Let me just tell you. Fran Horowitz she was the CMO of Hollister for a little bit. Hollister, obviously, you know.
Sister brand. Before that, she was the CEO of Ann Taylor. How do people get this high? Like, what a fucking baller.
Well, so she started at Bloomingdale's, where she was a buyer. She moved up the chain.
Wow.
Her big thing was focusing on work-life balance. She has a husband and 2 kids in the 90s.
Amazing.
Which is, like, remember back in the 90s, like, being a C-level type, when a woman C-level type with 2 kids and a husband in New York City in the 90s. The show Sex in the... I'm rewatching Sex in the City right now. And the entire show is basically like, how do you do it?
Yeah.
That's basically the theme of the show.
People used to make it fucking impossible. Now I feel like people are a lot
getting
more
better.
flexible about work hours and stuff like that. But damn, this fucking Fran was compartmentalizing.
Yeah.
With the best of them.
She was crushing it. And then in 2014, she was just like, get in the car, picked up her husband and 2 kids and moved to Ohio. Wow. So she like had a full like Lifetime movie, you know, just like complete, just like I'm done with the city. Like I gotta go. To the country. Where's horses? And joined Abercrombie & Fitch, did this whole couple years of like, what are we doing?
Yeah, and what's the game plan here, guys?
Yeah, what are we actually doing? And then she got put in charge of the whole damn thing. Okay. Now she is the CEO of Abercrombie & Fitch. She also looks like a Midwestern mom. Like she could not look more opposite. She looks like she was like born and raised in Ohio.
I mean, she's got to be older with all these accomplishments, right?
I think she's in her 60s or something like that. Like she is, she's like a mature mother. Like, from like the middle of the country. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like very much seems nice. She seems nice.
Yeah. Listen, I'd like to get a coffee with her.
Absolutely. But just like the absolute last person I would imagine her like rallying against Abercrombie more than running it now.
Okay.
But since she's joined Abercrombie, she was basically like, all of this, fucking hate it. I hate this.
Same.
She changed the dressing rooms. This is like a minor thing, but changed them from those like weird, creepy rape closets that made you look fantastic.
They did make you look fantastic.
to like, yeah, no, you look so good. You still look good in them, but they're like more more feels like a West Elm kind of energy, or like very like refined kind of stuff.
Okay.
The whole brand is now centered on inclusion, so there's no more of that weird sizing, which is why they actually have a curvy size, like, which I personally was like very excited about.
Yeah.
So I was walking around a mall and I saw an Abercrombie, and we saw I saw something inside, and they had that leather jacket, the leather jacket.
Yeah.
And I've been looking for it. It's so cute,
it's really
and
cute.
I had kept renting one. And I was like, I got to stop renting the same jacket over and over.
Right.
Because that starts to defeat the purpose when you pay for it. And I saw it and I was like, oh, I should go check that out. And I go in and I was like, what happened? It's totally different in here.
I gotta go.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's probably still problems, but I was like, my initial impression was like, this is a step forward. How about that?
Great.
So they got rid of the weird sizing. I actually bought a pair of jeans at the same time, which are like, they're not my favorite jeans, but they like fit.
Wow. See, that's because I'm a snob about jeans.
Oh, same. They were
so
like
snobby.
very cheap, and I was traveling, so I like kind of needed a pair.
I see.
But they were like $30.
What?
I know.
That's really cheap.
I know. I think there was like crazy sales and stuff.
Are
like
they
that.
like
They're
acceptable?
fine.
Wow.
They're fine. I've worn them, and I don't think you've ever noticed they were Abercrombie jeans.
I haven't noticed it even wearing any like awful pair of jeans. So.
What if you were like, actually?
Yeah, I'm like, I know exactly the ones you're talking about. Your whale tail was out the back, and I was like, what are you doing?
I thought whale tails were back in. I don't know. Were they ever out? Like, what's up?
Yeah, what the fuck?
Abercrombie launched a new mini-series on mental health with U.S. soccer world champion Megan Rapinoe.
Oh, yeah, we like her.
We love her.
Man, they're overcompensating, though. They're like, we're going to go the exact opposite way.
I know. They were like, she's a lesbian? Get her on over here.
Yeah. Well, technically, Mike Jeffries was gay, but he was just a villain.
I know, but like, he did nothing. Well, I don't know. Whatever. And then most importantly, before COVID, because obviously COVID's just been really tough on the entire retail industry, she took Abercrombie & Fitch through 9 profitable quarters, which had been a long time since they had that.
That's
so
awesome.
Am I obsessed with her? Yes.
Yes. I'm in awe of anybody who just like, I literally don't understand how you go from a buyer at Bloomingdale's to the CEO of Abercrombie. It's amazing.
She does have her husband, who is also named Mike, which I thought was kind of poetic.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure he's a stay-at-home dad, which I'm obsessed with.
Yeah.
Also, to be in the 90s and like go for stay-at-home dad is like, I love that.
I mean,
that is a Lifetime movie vibe.
What's the point of having a job if your spouse is making that much money? You know what I mean? It's like you need a few extra. Like, you don't need that money.
He literally volunteers. I found this on Facebook. He volunteers at Flying Horse Farms, which is a nonprofit helping disabled children ride horses.
Oh my God. Like.
And they were shouting him out as Cool Mike, the counselor.
You couldn't have like casted
it's like
more polar opposite.
Yeah.
That's insane. Do disabled people need to ride? I guess it's just.
It's like
fun.
they do it like for therapy on occasion.
Nice.
It's like cute, but you're right. It definitely feels where I'm like that could go awry.
Oh yeah.
Whoa! Keep an eye on them. That's why Mike's there, I guess.
Are they harnessed in?
He's helping them. He's helping them out.
Wow.
So that's what's up with Abercrombie right now.
Damn, check them out. It seems like they have turned shit around.
Yeah, they're trying. They're doing their best.
They're not actively trying to give your teenage daughter an eating disorder.
Yeah, they're not like, please, don't eat anymore. And
please,
also, Mom, you want to fuck this kid? You want to fuck him?
Yeah. She's like, kind of.
I don't know. I'm so nervous. We gotta go, sweetheart.
Oh my God, what a brand.
That's the brand. And
talk about a rebrand. I mean, I thought that George W. Bush had a good rebranding when he was making all those paintings of immigrants. This is what I call a fucking rebrand.
I have a friend whose dog was painted by George W. Bush.
No way.
Yes.
Why?
They're Dallas, like,
royalty.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, very rich Dallas people.
Okay.
And he's from Dallas, and that he painted her dog. I was like, what's going on?
Also, he's fucking good. Have you seen those paintings?
Yeah, they're fine. Like
I mean, they're not like, I'm not gonna like buy one.
If he wasn't the president, I would be like, maybe
don't
maybe have another job.
But it's he's not like an artist or anything, but it's cool that he could do it pretty well. It's kind of nice.
Good for him. I'm also glad that he found, again, people are gonna be like, George Bush.
Yeah. I mean,
but hey, you know what? At least he's got himself distracted. He's painting. He's just vibing out. That's a very harmless task.
And even though he's done some horrible things in the past, it feels like he's on the right side of things now.
It's also nowadays, and just like it just makes it a lot.
It makes it a lot easier to like anybody that's not Trump.
Like, oh, were you not completely mean to just everyone all the time? Just mean. Awful.
Thankfully that's behind us. When does now it's like a politics podcast. When does Joe Biden
do his
officially take over?
I think it's in January, right?
I think it's in January too.
A couple weeks.
Ooh, that'll be fun.
Also, the J&J vaccine should get hopefully approval by then.
Oh, hell yeah.
Which is the one I'm like, I just can't wait.
Yeah, how do you know which vaccine to take? Is there a BuzzFeed quiz?
It's like, what's your personality type?
Yeah. Like, I'm an
You're
ENTP or whatever. It's like, great.
You want Moderna.
We want Pfizer.
Yeah. I'm definitely a J&J girl myself.
Are they all the same?
I would assume they have the same impact, right?
Same impact, but are they all, I don't know.
No, I think the biggest thing is like how they store. I know that's like a big, I'm assuming there's probably some other differences. I remember one of them was using mRNA. That's the extent.
Yeah. I'm like, so you're acting like I know what that is.
Yeah. No, it's messenger RNA. I actually know a little bit more about this, but it's just a new way of developing vaccines, and they haven't done it before. So it's kind of cool because this pushed it into, development of that kind of stuff. So hopefully it'll improve science as a whole.
Yeah.
But one of them is doing that, and the J&J one can be stored at like refrigerator temperature, which is important because like local pharmacies can carry it rather than the one that's out right now has to be like deep frozen, I believe.
Yeah.
And really can only be carried in hospitals that have like that kind of equipment.
Cool.
And that's it. That's all. I'm out. Vaccine knowledge.
Yeah. Nice. I'm excited to get the vaccine. Can't wait. All right. Well, this has been another episode. You guys learned a little bit more about Abercrombie.
Yeah.
What it's all about.
The original influencers.
Yeah. That was fun. That was really cool. I didn't know that this guy was such a piece of shit. I kind of assumed by the way that the brand, behaved itself, but this was
you don't look at it and just be like, the executive team must just be like, real Bible thumpers.
Yeah.
No.
Anyway,
well, hope you enjoyed. As always, like and subscribe because I would appreciate that.
I would appreciate that very much. Please do so. Tell your friends. Tell anybody who's interested in this kind of stuff, like business news, CEOs, which is everybody's got a job. I feel like this is interesting to everybody, right?
Yeah. Unless you're stupid.
In which case, we don't need you. Please come back.
You're still in